Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Sunday morning to you. This is Rob the Mad Hatter from the biggest show in the world, Sports Bettors TV, sitting here talking to my boy, the evil genius of Major League Baseball, Mr. Dr. Dan Kidd. I had to play this track after Ronda Rousey laid the smackdown in 34 seconds last night, man.
Might as well call me the evil genius of women's professional fighting, too, man. Look, I hate to toot my own horn, but what did I say? 30 seconds to 1 minute, this chick is going to kill this chick.
Unbelievable, man.
Man, absolute destruction in the octagon. There is not a female on this planet that can stand toe-to-toe with Ronda Rousey. I'll say that right now. Anyone want to, prove me wrong? I'd love to see a fight where it was actually close. But especially with the comments that Correa had made earlier, I'm just thinking about it as a normal guy that, has never professionally fought in my life. What I would do to someone, and then, you take a professional fighter who's the best in the world, and then you amp her up even more. Bad move on Correa's part, and she paid for it.
Dude, that fight went on really late last night, man. It was like, 1:15 in the morning it came on? Something
crazy, dude. I mean, I understand that it's, UFC has this allure of being, like an adult, like Eden, like a playground, like old school boxing was. It's like, but at the same time, I'm not saying you want, necessarily like super young kids watching this, but man, even if you're like 12, 13, 14 years old, you should be able to watch a fight, and at 1:15 in the morning, that's kind of tough. So I would, hey, look, I wish that they would put fights like this on, hey, Saturday afternoon or late afternoon, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock, open it up in prime time, but, obviously they chose not to do it, and it went on way too late.
Did you watch any of the undercard stuff?
Not really, man. I was, honestly, I was really tuned into the baseball.
Oh, gotcha, man.
So I really, look, call me what you will. This was the one fight that I obviously was heavily invested in. I'll be honest, I didn't know too much about the undercard, at all. And, hey, look, I said take the under one round, and I ended up dumping way too much on it.
Well, I'm glad you hit, bro.
Thanks, man. And the thing is I was looking for those props. I wanted the 0 to 30 second and the 30 second to a minute knockout, because those would have actually paid dope money, and I could have laid less on it. But I couldn't find those anywhere, because I think the books knew. I think the books knew that this was going to be a massacre. So hey, I got the minus one round, under one round for minus 300. Played a good chunk of change on it, but hey, it worked out. So, if you put one unit on each of my plays yesterday, including baseball, we were, I think, like 500. So,
all right, sounds good, man. I know your baseball was up and down, but mine, hey. I ended up getting the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates to go under, and that was a stomach ache, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
At the end, dude. I was up 4-2. Aroldis Chapman comes in and loads the bases, man. I was like, oh. Then it goes 4-3, and I'm like, oh, dude, if that runner from third comes in, I'm screwed, because I had the under over of 8. So, luckily, he struck out the last batter, and I was able to laugh on that.
Yeah, man, that was a real stomach ache. It was funny because, for me, it was the other way on the 2 over-unders I played yesterday. Neither were stomach aches. One I was out of real early in that Red Sox Tampa Bay game. But then, Toronto KC, that over hit extremely quickly. So, split on those. But, hey, there's some value on this baseball card today. Another full day.
Oh, yeah, man. Congratulations to your New York Mets as well, man. 1 game out of first place.
I know, man. Hey, look, I thought that the Nats manager last night made one of the craziest decisions that I've ever seen. Look, you got a guy up there in Cespedes who I understand is a beast, but, you could tell all game that he was kind of off. I don't know if it was just, first game jitters with a new team that's in a playoff race, but swinging at balls out of the zone, things like that. And he decides to walk him to pitch to a guy, and I understand you're getting the lefty-lefty matchup, but to pitch to a guy that had already hit 2 home runs in the game, accounting for the only 2 Mets runs. And, you put him up there first and second and an out, and he blasts a double. I mean, I thought really poor managing on the Nationals' part to look at it from that perspective. But, the Mets got it done. They got Thor on the mound tonight. I think they get it done. Virtual tie for first place. And then if you guys look at their schedule, I mean, they're going on the road. But, they get to kind of feast. They go to Miami. And then, another garbage team in Tampa Bay. And then they come home and they got a big series with the Rockies. So, they got like 9 or 12 games that are going to be, with under 500 teams. They got to feast on that.
Well, man, hey, I wish you the best of luck with that. Unfortunately, I have the Washington Nationals to win the World Series. So I have the Mets too, but it doesn't pay as well as the Nasties. So I got to get that Mets future paying a little bit more as we go, brother.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Nationals have a pretty easy next 7 games. After this Mets series, they go home. They got 4 with the Diamondbacks and 3 with the Rocks. So still, those teams, especially on the road, are not great. But then they do have to go to the West Coast and play the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens. It should be, really interesting 2 months. I think these teams are going to come down neck and neck.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And speaking of the NL East, how about the Philadelphia Phillies laying the smackdown on the Braves again, kid?
The Braves are so bad. The Braves are so bad. The Braves right now at this point, I think, might be the worst team in baseball.
You think so, huh?
I think they might be. I mean, record aside, because, you can look at the record. They had that early season, like the first third of the season, where they won games, and you and I were sitting here like, wait, what is going on?
Yep.
Are these guys for real? And obviously they're not. And their pitching is so bad. I mean, they're just getting pounded on.
I know.
Pounded on. And, look, hey, the Braves might cost me this 95-game losses, but I fully expect the Phillies to get back to playing terrible Phillies baseball as soon as they start playing a legitimate team.
Oh, definitely, man. So the Phillies, I mean, yeah, let's see, they are 41-64 now, man. So I think I'm okay. I could actually lose more games than I win, I think, and still hit that under of 95 losses, Dan.
41-63, so it's 104. So there's 58 games left.
Yep.
For the Phillies. So
I gotta win 26 of them.
Yep. So if they go, our push number is basically like
95.
90, right? So 95. But I'm saying 32 losses out of 56 games. I still feel pretty good about that. So let's see what happens. They had their run. I fully expect them, to break your heart by a nice little 10-game losing streak at some point again.
Think so, huh?
I do.
All right,
I do. I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. But like I said, brother, especially if my Mets are in the playoffs, I don't care if we're driving to Pittsburgh or wherever we got to go. I will gladly buy those tickets and drive us out there.
All right, sounds good, man. Big ups to everybody that's out on Twitter this morning retweeting our show. Guys, we appreciate it. If you could do that for us, we will announce your name, man. I got Sirach King J, I got D, I got Terry Bassard, I got Jim Rona's a douche, I've got Kiem Vu, I've got my man Irvin this morning, I got Tip Talker, I got C. Rodriguez Jr., I got Spot Bet, I've got Get a Vegas Bookie, I got the Direct Sport Solutions, Heavy 365, and my boy Tommy King, just to name a few, man. So, Dan, let's jump right into the MLB, man, and get this thing popping, man. So we got the Kansas City Royals coming into the Toronto Blue Jays today. And Kansas City has Edison Volquez, Toronto R.A. Dickey, Toronto minus 135 with an under-over of 8.5. Ken, think this goes over again?
I'm going to ride it. I'm going to ride it out. I mean, R.A. Dickey's been better as of late in his last 7, 2-4, but with a 3 ERA. But, I'm also looking at who he was pitching against. In his last 3 games were Tampa Bay, Oakland, and the Phillies.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
I can't take a lot of that. And then you look at Edison Volquez, and he hasn't been terrible, but he's definitely worse on the road. His last game at Cleveland, remember, he still won it, but he gave up 3 earned, 6 hits, and 5 walks. If he does that against Toronto today, which I think he might, he's going to get killed. So I'm on the over again. I'm just going to ride it while it's hot. It's 8.5. I mean, it's been crazy runs late, like the last 2 games in the series. It's a fun series to watch. I'm going to, like I said, ride this over 8.5 hard.
All right, sounds good, man. Looking at the over. Speaking of the overs in these with these respective teams here, Kansas City 4 of the last 6 games have gone over, and 6 of the last 8 Toronto games have gone over as well. So something to keep in the back of your brains. And let's see, 4 of the last 6 Kansas City games on the road have gone over, Dan. So something to take a look at. For me, I don't have an opinion or a side on this one, dude.
I mean, maybe it's just because I'll look at it. Even if I lose this over, I'm still 2 out of 3 in series over plays.
Yep.
So, I'm still feeling good about the series as a whole, which is the way you got to look at it sometimes. And I would feel stupid if I didn't take the bet. And, you see another 15-run performance between these teams, which I think is very possible.
Definitely, man. All right, so let's shoot over to the next one. We got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Dude, the Pittsburgh Pirates, huh? They can't get out of their own way versus the NL Central, man.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I've never seen such a talented team struggle so mightily against their own division. These guys have basically won every other game outside of their division. They're 60-43. But now they've lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds and are in serious threat to get 3 out of 4 on them, which is crazy.
Gotta love it, man. Big ups to my man Rich Nichols out there. What's going on, brother? How are you? Taking a look at this, I mean, the Brewers swept them. Cincinnati's, trying to get 3 out of 4 versus them, dude. I don't know about this Pittsburgh team, man. I really don't, Dan. I really don't. Well, I mean, they're minus 126 today on the money line. Under over of 9 runs, Dan. 9.
I know. And here's why that is. So you have Charlie Morton on the hill for Pittsburgh, and he has not been very good. His last 7 games, he's 1-4 with a 7.3 ERA. Ouch is right. Now, granted, at Milwaukee, gave up 4 earned. At Kansas City, 5 earned. At Minnesota, his last game out, 3 earned. And then Cincinnati has a rook on the mound. First start ever. Kivas Sampson. He only has had 1 outing. He came in relief on July 30th, actually, against Pittsburgh, and pitched an inning and struck out both batters and didn't give up a hit.
Wow.
So, I mean, in his short stint, he was, good and showed he could do it. In the minors this year, he has 7 quality starts. His numbers look pretty good. He threw about 60% of his pitches for strikes this year in the minors. Here's the thing, guys. I see why the over's so high. I think this is. I'm riding the Reds here, though.
You are, huh?
I know this is a rookie pitcher, his first time out. But the Pirates have been so bad against their own division. Yep. And they have a guy on the mound that has a 7.3 ERA in his last 7 starts. All right, this isn't like, 1 bad outing here, 1 bad outing there. I mean, he's gotten blown up, and especially on the road. And I know you got a rookie out there, but you know what? I got to ride the Reds.
Okay, man.
At plus 110.
It makes sense, Dan. It really does. Just the rookie pitcher thing has got me a little shook, I got to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely get it. And if any other pitcher on the Pirates was going today, you would have me like, I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to step back, not bother with it. But it's Charlie Morton. God awful. Cincinnati can still hit the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not their down, and I fully expect them, a day game in Cincinnati. It's going to be hot and humid. It's, the ball's going to jump out of there. I expect the ball to really jump.
Okay, dude. All right. So we'll move over to the next matchup. I don't see anything I like yet, man. San Diego at Miami. San Diego, big game Shields. Miami has Jose Fernandez. Miami minus 155 with an under-over of 6.5 runs, Dan.
Ridiculous. I feel like you almost got to go with Shields here. And the Padres.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one, dude.
I know. And I know Jose Fernandez has been lights out. I mean, to say the least. He's been lights out. But, Shields hasn't been bad. Last 3 starts, home against Colorado, 7 hits, 1 earned. And then you remember he shut out the Giants over 5 innings, only 3 hits. And then he did have that game against the Mets last time out where he went 7, but 7 hits and 3 earned. But his last 7 overall, I mean, he's been like the victim of some bad luck. But dude, the Marlins are just terrible.
Yeah, up until this series, they were pretty good at home, though. You know what I mean?
Understand, but you know the Padres have not been playing terrible baseball at all.
Only 2 games under 500, dude.
2 games under 500. I'm saying, like, wouldn't it be funny if they go on this crazy run? The Marlins have now lost 4 in a row.
Yep.
At home.
Got it.
And then they've lost 7 out of their last 8. So, you know, look, I don't think, even with Fernandez on the mound, I don't think they have any business being, you know, minus 155. And to get Shields at plus 135 even on the road is good. And I'm even considering plus 1, maybe plus 1 on this.
Oh, okay. That might work.
But I'm definitely going to ride the straight up run line at plus 135 or money line 135, but I am going to look at it at plus 1.
Okay, sounds good, man. You know, I'm looking at that game. I see the under over of 6.5. I'm just worried about, like, later in the game, a lot of runs.
I lean the under, but that's the thing. Like, I also think that Jose Fernandez can give up a run, you know, over 6 or 7 innings, and then that bullpen comes in and just gets demolished.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. Hey, man, maybe we'll look at a first 5 team total or something like that with, you know, with the under in San Diego. That might be something to take a look at, Dan.
That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of options out there, guys. It's not just sides and totals, man. You can do a lot of different stuff out here. All right, so let me go to the next one here, man. Tampa Bay at Boston. Kid, I'm so mad at myself I didn't take Boston for the series.
I know.
Oh, dude, I was dying to also, and I didn't do it, man. Unbelievable. This one's pretty much even money all across the board today. Guys, under over of 9 runs. When you look at these two teams, let's see. Tampa Bay has Jake Orodizzi. Boston has Wade Miley. Looking at the respective ERAs, Orodizzi's 2.76, Miley 4.65. 9 runs, Dan. 9 runs.
I know, and you know, I should have listened. I can't remember who it was that was shouting at all of us go over in this game. And
my boy Vinny, man, congratulations on it.
Yeah, good call, man. I know you went big on that kid. I should have tailed you. Thank God I only threw a unit on it, so not a big deal. But I don't know, man. I almost always ride the over when Wade Miley starts. You know, it's just, I mean, especially lately, I mean, you know, at home last time out, remember, against the White Sox, he went 5 2/3, but he gave up 10 hits and 7 earned runs.
Wow.
You know, so he got blasted. And then, you know, Odorizzi, you know, has been up and down, and on the road, he seems to get runs. At Toronto, 6 earned, and on 6 hits and 4 1/3, and even in Philadelphia, 5 hits and 2 earned. Got a no decision there, but you know, you give it up. You know, and his last time out at home against Detroit, but Detroit has been so bad on offense, it's hard to really judge that. I think I'm going to ride the over 9 here.
Damn, dude, because I was thinking the under.
I know, but the thing is,
9 runs, Dan, with Tampa Bay.
Dude, I know, but Wade Miley is bad, dude.
I know. Here's what I'm looking at, Dan. I'm looking at the last outings that these pitchers have had versus these teams.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Orodizzi back in May, 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run. And yeah, I know. And April, he had 6 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run. And let's see, Wade Miley versus Tampa Bay, dude. Back in June 27th, so about 5 weeks ago.
6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned. Yep. No, I see that. I just got to look at what these guys are doing lately. Not necessarily, and look, and you got to look at how the feeling of the series has gone. You know, and these pitchers are just, I mean, Wade Miley is garbage.
Yes.
I mean, he is literally a triple-A, he's a quadruple-A guy. I mean, maybe if he went to the National League somewhere, he could be somewhat successful, but the Red Sox rotation as a whole is full of a bunch of guys that had high promise at one time. That's really what it is.
Yeah,
so I'm going to ride this over. You know, it's like Toronto, Kansas City. You know, I've ridden that over the whole series. You know, it's like Tampa Bay, Boston. I got slapped in the face with the under yesterday, and it was 9.5. And I like this pitching matchup way better for an over. So I'm going to ride it. I'm just going to do it.
look at Tampa Bay's bats, and they got to be exhausted after yesterday, man.
Their bats are all limp.
I know, exactly. So, all right, man, we'll keep it moving. So Dan and I are on two sides of the fence with that one, guys. We got Detroit at Baltimore, man. Detroit is just sliding, dude, out of control, man. Really bad.
I think Detroit even might get rid of some more pieces through, like, waiver wire, which for those of you who don't know, obviously the waiver wire, you can make, like, post-trade deadline trades. I'd go into the whole thing, but I don't want to eat up the show, so just go look it up. It's on Google.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to explain it, but if it's too in detail, then you can look it up.
It's not in detail. Basically, teams can still kind of make deals. There's a whole bunch of rules surrounding how it works. You basically put a player on waivers. If no one else claims him, then you can make a trade with the team that wants to claim him, and they're still eligible for postseason play. Any trade in the month of August. So there's still a way to, you might pick up like a reliever or something. If Detroit decides to fully like break it down, they might do that. So we'll see. But they're really in a death spiral.
All right, sounds good, man. So Baltimore minus 190 with an under-over of 9 runs, Dan.
Just keep me away from this.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't go minus 190 on Ubaldo Jimenez. I mean, come on. I know it's Derek Norris. I know it's Detroit. And I know they're absolutely, just terrible. But Norris hasn't been, that bad. I mean, look, I know he's young. I know, he's 22 years old. And he, people were like, oh, he's got to be the second coming. I mean, look. He gets knocked around a bit, but his last 2 starts on the road, I know at Cleveland he only went 3 innings. I think there was a rain situation, though, but he gave up 4 hits and no earned runs. Or no, sorry, that was in April. So he's coming back from injury, actually. So, you know what? Stay away from this game. Stay away from this game completely. I'm lost on this. But minus 190 on Jimenez is insane.
All right, man. We got Atlanta coming into the Philadelphia Phillies.
Sorry, really quick. One more thing. Jimenez, his last 3 starts on the road. I mean, he's given up 16 runs in his last 3 starts.
Ouch.
So,
Ouch. All
minus
right,
190. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Does it make sense to jump on the underdog with
oh my
with
God,
the Tigers?
With Daniel Norris? I'm trying to look up. If I can't remember. I know this was. So he was part of the David Price trade. He got sent down on May 1st to AAA in the Blue Jays organization. Remember, he's the guy that lives in the van. Down by, he was
right, exactly.
He's supposed to be the second coming. He's a real crazy guy, and he never really did that well. So you know what? You're right, man. I am gonna ride Daniel Norris today because I gotta feel like you got a guy who I think kind of fell out of favor in Toronto. Obviously, got demoted to AAA. Felt he had some things to work on, which isn't necessarily wrong. But he's now in Detroit. He's got a chance to make a fresh start. He's got something to prove. And at plus 165, I mean, Detroit's got to win at some point, right? Baltimore is not good enough to be giving those numbers.
Right.
So I'm going to do it.
All right, sounds good, man. I kind of like that, Dan. We'll have that conversation. Just the problem is that if I bet Detroit and I lose, I'll be so mad at myself.
I know. You could always go the plus 1.5 at minus 130.
Yeah, but if they lose, they get smashed.
You're probably right. But, I don't know. I mean, I got to do it because I just think Jimenez is extremely hittable. And I mean, he's gotten blasted. I mean, absolutely smoked in 2 out of his last 3 games.
Okay.
I mean, seven earned runs in two games, and then I know he had 2 earned runs in his last game, but I mean, he didn't look good.
Got it.
So plus 165. Call me crazy, but I am on it.
All right, man. Atlanta at Philadelphia, dude. You think Philadelphia Phillies get the sweep here, Dan? Over of 8, pretty much even money all across the board. Atlanta's slightly favored with Julio Teheran on the mound. Philadelphia has Adam Morgan.
I got Philadelphia favored in this game.
Let me take a look at
I got Philly minus 105 and the Braves minus 115. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, Braves slight favorite.
Slightly favored. Wow, dude.
That's plus
I know this is a really nasty, ugly game, dude. But Atlanta is 0-5 in their last. The Philadelphia Phillies, dude, they've won 12-2 in the last 14, Dan.
Yeah, I know, and the Braves have been
bad. Very bad.
Yeah, it's really hard to even.
While you're trying to figure out this nasty game, man, let me shout out a couple of other people that are on here. I've got, I've got Holiday. What's going on, player? How you doing, man? I got the Black Hasselhoff. I've got Alex Thorne. I've got SMAC27. What's going on, guys? Good morning to you. So Atlanta's been, really, really bad, dude. And the total's gone under in 16 of their last 22 on the road, Dan.
I know, but, they just keep getting blasted by Philadelphia. And, Tehran was supposed to be the ace of the staff pretty much. And, he has been nothing like an ace at all. Yep. He's been very mediocre. In his last 3 starts, Chicago, 2 earned, but only 4 2/3 innings. The Dodgers, 6 hits, 3 earned. Which wasn't a bad start, but he still lost it. And then at Baltimore, he only lasted 4 innings, and he gave up 5 hits and 5 earned. So I don't know, man. Then you got Adam Morgan on the other side. Again, another younger guy. He's only made 6 career starts all this year in the bigs. He is 2-2 with a 4.05. Part of me feels like I want to ride this over 8.
Makes sense.
I want to ride this over 8.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
And that's what I'm going to do with this game. I don't even want to watch it. This is going to be one of those games where I just, sit back and watch something else and see. I know. And, like I said, Morgan has been mediocre. And, I think, the Phillies bullpen is obviously really bad. And the Braves, can't really do anything right now. But I expect them to get a few hits, score a few runs. This guy gave up 9 hits and 3 earned to Tampa Bay. How you get 9 hits and only 3 earned runs. But, so you could see a game that's like 6-3 Philadelphia or Atlanta, pretty easily.
Atlanta scored 25 runs in the last 3 games in this series, dude.
I think the over is actually a low number. And I'm all over it.
Surprising. Okay, man. We got Arizona coming into Houston. Houston laid the smackdown on them last night, kid, with your boy Keuchel, man. So Arizona, let's see, it's Robbie Ray and Houston, Colin McHugh. Houston minus 155 with an under-over of 8.5. My boy Tommy King is feeling Houston. How about you?
Yeah, definitely a failed science experiment yesterday. It was funny because I took the kids out to a farm for a little bit, but it's one of those modern new age farms. They actually had Wi-Fi, so I had my wife running around with them. I'm checking, and I see it's like 2-2. I'm like, oh wow, 2-2. I'm like, not bad. I was like, you got 2 runs on Keuchel. I was like, didn't know that would happen. So I felt good. Next thing I know, it was just like an avalanche, and it was 9-2, and it was just a monstrous bludgeoning by the Astros. So I like the Astros again today. I like the run line at minus 1.5 at plus 140.
Think so, huh?
I do. I think. Look, Arizona had their winning streak, and I know they got Robbie Ray on the mound today.
Yep.
But there's a reason why, even with a 2.7 ERA, he's 3-5. And then you got McHugh, who, even though he has a 4.43, he's 12-5. This game's at Houston, which, is definitely, Arizona just plays much better in their own building.
Sure.
And Robbie Ray, I'm looking at his numbers. His last start out was on the road at Seattle. 6 hits, 2 earned in 7 innings. But, the start before that, he only went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned at the Marlins at home. So in his last 7, he's 1-4 with a 3.64, which is real bad.
Got it.
Real bad. And then, McHugh, on the other hand, his last start out at home against the Angels, he got banged around a little bit. He gave up 5 earned. But his starts before that at home were against Boston and against Texas. Boston, he only gave up 2 earned in 7 innings. And against Texas, he scattered 11 hits and only gave up an earned run. So, I'm on the -1.5.
All right, sounds good, man. I just have a hard time betting against this Arizona team, dude. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's easier to do on the road. And, Houston has shown such an infusion, man. Yeah. Such an infusion. I mean, what they did to that team is unbelievable. How they've gone in such a short time. I mean, they were garbage last year, Everybody was laughing when, Taylor Swift was like, I might have to reschedule my concert because of, the Astros make the playoffs. Except for me. They made the trades. I think they come out and they beat the crap out of a mediocre Arizona Diamondbacks team.
I know, you got a plus 4,000 to win the division, huh?
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Every Angels loss and every Houston win are just like... And I've already been able to I've already covered that original bet, like by far, on Houston Astro wins.
Oh, already. Yeah, right, exactly.
So I'm sitting good. I'm going to start looking at the over-unders really in depth in like this week and next week, seeing where I need to hedge, where I look good. So, if you tailed me, next weekend I will definitely have, either next weekend or the weekend after, I'll definitely have, hedge opportunities where we're looking real bad, where it's going to come down to the wire. Because remember, guys, we hit 80% of these last year. A lot of them, I think 5 or 6 came down to the last day.
Yeah, right,
came
exactly.
Down to the last day. So,
yep.
I know the Dodgers did. I know some other teams did. So you got to look at it very close, guys. There's ways to hedge out and make that money.
All right, sounds good, man. Let's keep it moving to the next game. Dan, we have is the Chicago Cubs at the Milwaukee Brewers. Looks like the Milwaukee Brewers have just packed it in, kid.
Yep.
Pretty much even money all across the board with an under-over of 8.5. And I'm surprised with Kyle Loesch on the mound that they're actually even money, kid.
Yeah,
what's that all about?
I even see -105 in some places with Loesch on the mound. I'm scratching my head. I know, like, Chicago has Richard on the mound who, but Loesch, is 5'12" with a 6.24.
I know.
And then, look, you got Clayton Richard on the mound who's like a 31-year-old, he's made one start for the Cubs, and it wasn't great. He still managed to win it. In his MLB career, he's a even 47-47, right? 130 starts. He's just kind of like an average dude. So I don't know. This guy was designated for assignment like a week and a half ago and brought back up to make this start. I just stay away from this game. I kind of lean the over.
Okay.
But, I don't know. I just don't have enough faith in these offenses to get me there, even though I think the pitching is that bad. So I'm just going to stay away.
All right, gotcha, man. If you look at the Cubs, dude, $100 better. If you bet every single game this year, you're down $1. What a waste of time that is, man.
Oh, my God. You're down the hours, though.
Yes, definitely. Seattle at Minnesota today. Minnesota got the job done yesterday, man. That's a nice little lead we had. Seattle has Iwakuma. Minnesota has Michael Pelfrey, Big Pelf. Let's see. Seattle -135 with an under-over of 8.5. Dan, I don't know if Seattle should be favored with Iwakuma with a 5.10 ERA.
No, and Pelfrey is 5-7, but he's 9-2.
I'm losing you, Dan. I'm losing you.
Sorry, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, way better.
Sorry, man. I'm saying Big Pelf has really been the victim of some bad luck this year. His last 7, though, he's been really bad. He's 0-4 with a 5.22. His last 2 starts at the Angels and against Pittsburgh, he only gave up 2 earned, respectively. And then you got Iwakuma, who, remember, had that injury early in the season. His last 7, he's 2-1, but with a 4.97. Now, that's why that over-under number is at 8.5. But I'm actually rolling the Twins and the under here.
Okay.
I'm rolling the Twins and the under. I think that both these pitchers are looking to get it back on track. I see another close game where Minnesota takes it late, and at 8.5, I feel pretty good about that under, especially I'm getting it at even money, and I'm getting the Twins at plus 115.
Okay. Plus 115 at home versus Seattle. That does look pretty attractive, Dan.
I'm saying, like, Iwakuma, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I'm wondering if there's, like, some big Japanese whale out there that's just like, I love Iwakuma, he's my dude. I'm going to lay, like, 10 mil on him because minus 135 for a 5.10 pitcher on the road?
Doesn't make sense.
Especially against a team like Minnesota.
Something's going on. That's going to pull me off. I think that's a fishy line, Dan.
It is kind of fishy, but I think that there's just a lot. I really want to know about the Japanese betting contingency and if they move the line that much because, I mean, hey, you never know. Because this otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Totally doesn't.
I'm going to look at some lineup stuff, but we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good, man. We'll keep it moving to the next one. That line scares me a little bit. So it's going to keep me off Minnesota today.
Fair enough.
How about the New York Yankees getting blown up by the Chicago White Sox last night, kid? Are the White Sox for real, Dan?
They might be.
They might be. I mean, the bats have definitely turned around.
Yeah, they didn't trade Samardzija. They're now 50 and 52. No one's running away with the second wild card in the AL.
No, right.
They've won like 10 out of 12 or something.
Yeah,
they have a chance to win a series against the Yankees today. Oh, man, I can't touch this game. I think I lean the White Sox. I really lean the White Sox with Samardzija on the mound. But something, whenever I bet against the Yankees, it gets blown up in my face.
Yep.
So I'm just going to stay away. But I really want to pull the trigger on the White Sox, but I do have a lot of action today anyway, so I'm going to save
a lot of people are all over this Yankees team, and I just feel like you can't trust them.
Right.
I feel like you can't trust them, Dan.
With especially like Nova on the mound, he could either be really, really good or really bad. Like that's what the Yankees have. They have starters that can either be like unreal, like just shut you down, and then the next game they'll go out there and throw 3 innings and give up 8 runs.
Yep, exactly.
So their offense has been able to power them through a lot of that. But Nova's been very mediocre. At Boston, 4 earned. Home against Baltimore, 2 earned. At Texas, 2 earned. I think he's due to kind of get blown up.
Okay, all right, we'll see. And the way the White Sox have been hitting the ball, it's been kind of crazy, man. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and the Yankees are playing pretty good baseball too, man. 14-6 in their last 20. But I think the White Sox are. Hopefully, they're for real, man.
Well, I also am wondering if the Yankees are looking at this Blue Jays team and saying, we gotta keep our foot on the gas. A little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the White Sox are minus 130 here, Dan.
I know, which is what's pulling me off it a little bit. If it was, if we were talking minus 115 or less, I'd be more likely to pull the trigger on it.
Yep.
I just, and maybe it'll get there in a couple hours. So let me take a look. But yeah, I'll pull the trigger on that if we get down to minus 115 or better.
Got it. All right, so we got Colorado at St. Louis today, man. Colorado. I don't even know how to pronounce this pitcher's name, man. Was it Fland?
I guess so. He's been in the major leagues for like hot 2 seconds.
All right. St. Louis has Jamie Garcia. St. Louis minus 225 with an under-over of 7.5, Dan. What you got there?
Just got punched in the mouth yesterday by these guys. And yeah, I guess this guy's name is Johan Flande. I love it. He's 29 years old. He's had 11 starts in the big leagues. He's 1-7 with a 4.78.
Wow.
That's bad. And then you got Jaime Garcia, obviously, who is as well 29. But, he's 45 and 30 in his major league career with a 3.37. Over his last 7 starts, he's been untouchable. He is 3-3 somehow, but with a 1.91
Ouch.
and a .81 whip.
Okay.
So that's why you're seeing this game at, minus 215, minus 230. I can't take it there. Again, I know I got punched in the mouth on the run line yesterday, but I mean, you got Johan Flande versus Jaime Garcia at St. Louis.
Yep.
I gotta go with the minus 1.5 for the Cards again.
I agree, man. If you think about it, you had to lay a lot less money yesterday with the run line versus the money line, and you would have lost either way, so it didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So you actually saved some money doing the run line. So I agree with you on it. I agree with you on it. The only problem with St. Louis, man, is that they win so many one-run games, Dan.
I know, but I gotta feel like, after losing yesterday, they gotta be really, really pissed off and just like coming out today. You know how St. Louis does that, and they don't lose back-to-back games, especially to bad teams. And you have a pitcher coming in today that has been lights out dominant. I mean, 1.91 ERA. I know his last start out at home, he got hit by Cincinnati a little bit, but his last two starts on the road, at Minnesota and at Miami, he shut out Minnesota, only gave up one run against the Marlins. Look, I gotta think he gets it done. And I mean, dude, I gotta think that Johan Flande gets blown up.
All right, man. If you look at St. Louis, they're 10-5 in their last 15 games at home, and Colorado 3-10 in their last 13 on the road, Dan. Everything adds up to St. Louis winning this game. I just don't know if I feel comfortable with them with a run line. So we will keep it moving and go from there. If you get it, I hope they pound them, Dan. I really do. You got San Francisco Giants at the Texas Rangers. Congratulations on the San Francisco Giants last night, man. Winning by 2 runs. Wow. Winning by 2 runs. San Francisco, Mike Leake. Texas has Martin Perez. San Fran minus 120 with an under over 9.5 runs, Dan.
Yeah, that's hefty.
That's very heavy.
That is a hefty. But, you have, for Texas, you have Perez, who's 0-2 with 1.5 ERA.
Wow.
So I think he's really propelling that high line. His last start out at home was against the Stanks, and remember, he didn't last an inning. He gave up 7 hits and 8 earned runs in an inning.
Right.
So, at Houston, he got pounded around. At Colorado, he got pounded around. I mean, 3 starts, 0-2 with a 10.5. And then, you got Mike Leake, obviously coming over. This is his first start with the Giants. He was with Cincinnati. Dude, but his last 3 starts, people are forgetting. They're looking at Mike Leake, and they're like, oh, yeah, he's all right. He's got a 3.87 career ERA. This year, he's got a 3.56. His last 7 starts, he's 5-1 with a 2.68. His last 3 starts, home against Cleveland, 4 hits and an earned run. Home against Chicago, 4 hits and an earned run. At St. Louis, 4 hits, shutout, 8 innings.
Okay.
I'm all over San Francisco here at minus 125.
Makes sense, Dan. I got it at minus 120 over here.
Ooh, save the 5 cents.
And if you go over to sportsbetterstv.com, we will show you where you can get it at minus 110, Dan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome. Minus 110.
And there's a total of 10 on another book that Sports Bettors TV is showing you. So, wow. Interesting, dude.
Yeah, and what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the Texas team total under as well. I got to see what that comes out as. I don't like the under of 9.5 because I think the Giants will really put it on this guy today.
All right, sounds good, man. Big ups to Snoopy Bets. I got Christos out there. Got hashtag 808 Palanchi, hashtag SBTV. I got, let's see, the Total Sports Edge. What's going on, guys? And my boy Tommy King. What's up? All right, so the next one, we have Cleveland at Oakland. Cleveland with Trevor Bauer. Oakland, Sonny Gray. Oakland minus 155 with an under-over of 7 runs, Dan. What you got there?
I love me some Sonny Gray, but I hate me some Athletics at minus 150. I mean, look, I know Sonny Gray's 11-4. He's got a 2.16, but I just don't trust the Oakland Athletics enough in a minus 150 situation. You gotta be a really good team with your ace on the mound. for me to lay that much juice on that.
I like Sonny Gray to not let up any runs versus Cleveland the first 5 innings, dude.
Yeah, that's very possible. I almost like the -1.5 for Oakland at +150.
Okay.
I kind of do.
All right, this is a pitcher's park, dude.
It
is a pitcher's park, man. Sonny Gray, 11-4 with a 2.16 ERA. The total's gone under in 6 of the last 7 Oakland games and 4 of the last 5 Cleveland games as well. So I'm thinking under 2, Dan. Under 7?
Yeah,
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah. Just checking out some recent stats. So, Sonny Gray, remember, he did have that one start against Minnesota where he got blown up. But then versus Toronto, he did give up 9 hits, but only 2 earned. And then, he had his last start out at the Dodgers, complete game shutout, 3-hitter. So, he's back. Trevor Bauer, in his last starts, 5 earned, 6 earned, and 2 earned. At Cincinnati, he gave up the 5. The White Sox at home, 6, and Kansas City at home, 2. So, I don't know, man. The under looks good, but I really, I'm going to go with the A's -1.5 here.
Okay. All right, got it,
I can see the under, but I also can see Bauer getting knocked around a little bit. And like I said, I do not see Sonny Gray giving up runs to his team.
Got it. Real quick, guys, bouncing back to the Arizona and Houston game, my boy Direct Sports Solution is telling me that the umpire in the Astros game today is 12-5 to the over in games he calls. So that means his strike zone must be tight as hell. So
yes, yep.
Keep that in the back of your brains when you guys are betting. I'm going to look at this Cleveland-Oakland game. I know it's a really nasty game, but something's telling me to either take Oakland or the under or a combination of both, Dan.
Parlay it.
All right, sounds good, man. Next one, we have L.A. versus L.A. We got the Angels coming into the Dodgers. Angels kind of fell off a little bit, man. I'm waiting for them to bounce back. Let's see. Who do you got pitching here, bro?
Yeah, so we got Rasmus for the Angels and the brand new addition of Matt Latos.
Yes,
for the Dodgers. Latos on the year, is 4-7 with a 4.48. And Corey Rasmus, is this his first start in the bigs? It might be. I'm looking. He's 27. Oh no, he's had 6 starts in the big leagues. He's 4-3 with a 3.32. He's also been a reliever.
Okay.
So this is his first real time starting. And then Latos, man, I don't know. He's been on the road his last 3 starts, and he got a little bit knocked around at the Padres his last time out. I lean the Dodgers, but I'm going to stay away here. I can't give -160 to Latos.
I get it. I totally get it, man. Looking at this game, LA, the Angels are due to bounce back at some point, dude. So this might be the game that you get punched in the face if you bet the Dodgers. I'm staying away from it, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it at all.
Yep. And
you got a guy in the mound for the Angels that, you expect to go 4 or 5 innings, maybe.
Yep.
That's it. But then Latos also can go 4 or 5 and get banged around the park.
Hey, guys, if you look at this is very important, okay? The LA Dodgers are 14 games over 500, but if you're a $100 bettor who's bet them every single game, you are down almost $800, man, because their lines are always so thick. Crazy, right, Dan?
It just shows, the Dodgers are a very overrated team in the mind of the public.
Yep, definitely.
So, yeah, I can't. I've never liked betting them all year. They're just those teams that you kind of stay away from. And the Dodgers have been one of them. Because unless it's Kershaw or Greinke, and even then the juice has been so crazy that, you just can't do it unless you pair it with something.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
That's the only time I'll ever do it is when I'm really pairing. And this game, -160, that's insane. That's crazy.
Final game we have on a ticket is the Washington Nationals coming into the New York Mets for Sunday Night Baseball. Dan, I'm surprised you're not going to this game, man.
I wanted to, and I really thought about it. But I got some things that have to get done real early in the morning. If it was a 1 o'clock game, I'd be there.
Got it, man.
I wouldn't even be on this show right now, or if even a 4 o'clock game, I'd be there. But I might. What I'm actually thinking I might be doing is there's a series September 8th, 9th, and 10th down in DC. Mets Nasties. Ooh. And I might take myself on a little trip down to DC and represent.
Might have to save your money for when the Phillies, when they lose less than 95 games, you got to buy me playoff tickets, player.
They're going to lose 95 on the top, right? No, they're going to push.
Yeah, we're going to push, right. New York Mets minus 130 with an under-over of 6.5 runs. Washington putting Jordan Zimmerman on around versus New York Mets Noah Syndergaard, man. What you got?
Yeah, so we got Thor, baby. He threw 7 perfect innings his last start. Overall, he's 5-5, but with a 2.7 ERA. People forget this kid is a rookie. Jordan Zimmerman, his last 3 starts have been mediocre. Against the Dodgers, he only lasted 4 innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned. And then he had the start against the Mets, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned. And then at Miami, his last start out, he gave up 8 hits and 3 earned in 6 innings. Not great by any stretch. And then you have Syndergaard, who at St. Louis, 5 hits, 2 earned. At Washington, 5 hits, 1 earned. And then last time out, of course, 8 innings, 3 hits, shutout against the Padres. 7 perfect innings. So kid's been ridiculous. His last 7, he's 3-1 with a 1.76, a .91 whip, 46 strikeouts in 46 innings.
Damn.
So, overall, he has more strikeouts than innings pitched this season. Okay. 91 strikeouts to 86.2 innings, I believe. 91 strikeouts to 86.2 innings. Which is, there's only been a few guys in the history of baseball that have had more strikeouts than innings pitched. And some of those guys are like, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan, guys like that. And look, I'm not trying to compare this kid just yet to those guys, but those are very impressive numbers.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
At minus 125, I'm have kicked them around the park for the last 3 years.
Yep.
This would be the first time that they would sweep a series against the Nationals, I believe, since 2009. Okay. They're gonna get it done. I think Syndergaard. This is a national spotlight. It just shows already. Even though he was 0 for 3 with a walk, that walk set up the winning run because teams are scared of Cespedes. So he already made an immediate impact into the lineup. I expect him to be a little looser today, really be on his game. He's a great outfielder. He made a play yesterday where he ranged back on a ball, and I'll be honest, I knew he had a cannon for an arm. He has the best arm in the bigs. I didn't know he had the range to cover as well as he did in the Citi Field outfield. And he made a play on a ball that I thought was definitely, going to be a double, where he chased it down, man. I'm all over the Mets at minus 125. I think they get into a tie for first place today, and just keep going from there.
All right, sounds good. My man Rich Nichols wants to know if you think Familia should have been a All-Star this year.
I mean, if you look at it, before the All-Star break, he was perfect in save situations. I mean, yeah, I think he should have been an All-Star. I know, look, the All-Star game should be about the individual year, but, when you're a new guy, if he does the same thing next year, he'll be an All-Star. It's just seniority and name recognition.
Got it. All right, Dan, that does it for the full MLB card today, kids. So I want to hear what you got, because I know you got a lot of stuff, man, it sounds like. So let me have it, kid. What you got?
All right. So we're riding the Mets minus 122. The Athletics at minus 1.5 at plus 150. The San Francisco Giants at minus 119. The Cards at minus 1.5 at even money. The Astros minus 1.5 at plus 140. The Braves, Phillies over 8. That's minus 120. The Tigers plus 165. the Rays, Red Sox over 9, the Padres at plus 130, the Reds at plus 115, the Royals, Blue Jays over 8.5, and the Mariners, Twins under 8.5, and the Twins at plus 115.
All right, man. The only thing I'm looking at, man, I'm looking at taking Sonny Gray on the money line with the Oakland A's. I think they could beat the Cleveland Indians today in their house. And let me just see what other game I'm actually thinking about. I'm considering, and I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm thinking about going against you with Tampa Bay and Boston. I think it goes under 9.
Well, you know what? You can definitely go ahead and do that. But, if I parlay all my plays for $1 and I hit every single one of them, it pays out $15,000.
Sounds good, man. Hey, it's worth a shot. You know what I mean?
Hey, if you're the one that takes me down going against me.
Exactly. All right, Dan, what you got to close out, man?
Hey, man, just want to say another great weekend. Big props to the nation. Thanks for listening, everybody. Let's cash those tickets today and make that money. Thanks a lot, guys.
All day long, guys. We are Sports Bettors TV, the biggest show in the world, having an absolute blast 7 days a week. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Do your own homework. Bet your own plays. Make all your dreams a reality and get that money. Take care.
Peace.